Alright, what's up everyone? So this video has multiple stories around the Batman franchise. These are all lore stories based in the comic books. Now these videos were all done a long time ago. I just put them into one long video to make it easier to watch. Now these stories include other characters like Alien, Predator, Spawn, The Darkness, and also Superman. So here we go, enjoy. So the story takes place in a jungle near the Guatemala and Mexico border. Batman goes here looking for a geologist working for Wayne Enterprises. He parachutes in and meets a female operative named Hayat. Batman is then attacked by a crocodile, but is able to wrestle it and ties its mouth shut. As the story progresses, Batman meets up with a special forces unit that's tracking a target. They all work together for now and then stumble upon an alien ship with alien facehuggers and some dead hosts. Now, by the end of the first issue, the crocodile that attacked Batman earlier finds an egg and then gets facehugged. Now at this point, Batman is set up by Hayat. He is held hostage by her until she is caught off guard by the massive crocodile alien and gets killed instantly. Batman then has to fight this gigantic beast alone. With the use of some bladed weapons, Batman quickly learns of the alien's acidic blood. It strikes the creature a few more times to make it bleed. The alien blood then melts the floor enough for it to shatter, and the beast falls into a pool of molten lava. Batman manages to make it out alive and even takes a facehugger specimen to study it more. Now there was another time a similar type of xenomorph was seen. In another comic book called Batman Aliens 2, this creature was genetically created by combining the DNA of a xenomorph and the villain known as Killer Croc. Batman does battle the creature, but it doesn't last very long. As the facility is burning, Batman jumps through a hole trying to land in the water. He releases his cape as the creature follows from behind. The cape lands on its face, and the ceiling collapses and the fire engulfs it. So the story takes place in the present time. A construction site uncovers an underground chamber that is sealed off. Deep inside is a laboratory full of research on the xenomorph species. The crew who explores this area are then cocooned by a xenomorph from inside, and then it escapes. This xenomorph appears to be white-colored, which is different from the rest we've seen. After the alien escapes, Batman comes in to investigate and takes a book that talks about the alien's life cycle process. Batman recognizes the species as he fought them before during a trip to a jungle a few years ago. Meanwhile, the people who were cocooned by the alien are then impregnated by facehuggers. Batman later finds out this person brought back an alien, and the laboratory they uncovered was his research lab. This person originally found the aliens in a cave located in Antarctica in the year 1928. Batman takes off to track the alien and battles it in a subway. Now along the way, he discovers bodies with facehuggers attached to them. After the alien escapes again, these bodies are taken immediately for surgery to remove the chestbursters. So then Dr. Catherine Fortune, who is with the Federal Emergency Medical Authority, comes in and shows a lot of interest in the chestbursters that have been taken from the victims through surgery. Now, before the alien specimens can be taken away, the alien drops in from the ceiling to reclaim the chestburster, and Batman fights the alien again, but it eventually escapes. Now back at home, Batman takes some time to rest, and he gets a nightmare of seeing his friends and himself impregnated by facehuggers. The nightmare ends when he sees himself die from a chestburster. By now, the previous chestbursters have matured into fully grown warrior aliens and are all headed to what looks like a prison where some villains are locked up. Batman was able to tag the first alien with radium gel, so it's able to track its movements. With a brand new suit, he heads to the new location of the aliens. A battle ensues here with some aliens, and then Batman discovers that Dr. Catherine Fortune is able to control the aliens. She knocks Batman away, but we also catch a glimpse of what looks like Killer Croc's body being used for experiments. Batman is captured, then he wakes up on a drilling rig in the ocean somewhere. He's then forced to fight against a group of alien-human hybrids created through genetic manipulation. It turns out Dr. Catherine took DNA samples from the Joker, Harvey Dent, Pamela Isley, Jonathan Crane, and Victor Fries to create these hybrids that are still able to take orders. Now during this battle, many explosions occur, and Batman eventually defeats them all. He later finds a laboratory full of alien-human hybrids that are incomplete. At this point, Catherine finds Batman and explains her sole reason for creating these creatures is to counter any hero that might turn into a bad guy in the future. She later explained she was part of the expedition that occurred in 1928 and she also had an alien inside her, but the chestburster never fully matured and remained inside her, all due to a case of dry leprosy she contracted on an earlier expedition. Now, with the alien being part of her body, it gave her increased strength and agility, and it prolonged her life. At this point, her troops try to shoot Batman, but instead, they end up releasing one more creature by mistake, the alien Killer Croc hybrid. Now, Batman defeats this creature very quickly, and the story ends as the rig blows up, along with all the hybrids left inside. Now, the first one starts off with a boxing match between Marcus and Bersaglio. Now, two gang leaders are betting on their favorite fighter to win. Marcus wins the match, and later on that night, he is killed by the Predator. Batman then goes to the crime scene to investigate and realizes this murder was very different. The victim's skull and spinal cord were removed. He assumes the other gang leader was involved, but then the losing boxer of that match and other people in his gym are killed off as well. Batman meets up with a SWAT team that's been called in to assist in these murders, and the Predator kills off one of the officers in front of them. They fire upon the Predator, but can't see where it went. Batman then becomes the focus of the Predator, but is spared. He later starts to put the murders together and realizes this killer is acting upon a code of honor when it chooses its targets. The two gang leaders named Alex Yeager and Leo Broden agree to have a meeting and discuss about who is killing off their members. This is when the Predator crashes in and kills Alex Yeager, but it manages to escape before Batman arrives. But a trail of blood leads Batman to the Predator's location. They battle each other and Batman is severely injured. He calls in for his Batmobile and escapes with at least some knowledge of who the killer is. During this time, Batman is out of action, trying to heal from his injuries, while the Predator goes on a killing spree in Gotham. Commissioner Gordon is also attacked but survives by the aid of a fellow officer. Batman is forced to fight the Predator, despite still suffering from his injuries, and his new equipment not being fully tested. Now, his new auxiliary suit gives him increased strength and improved vision to see the Predator. Batman locates the Hunter, and during their battle, he used the Batmobile to transport the Predator to the outskirts of the city to continue fighting. During their long battle, Batman does trap it, and he uses a tranquilizer on it. Alfred then shows up and shoots it with a gun. The Predator escapes, and Batman finally tracks it down and defeats it by using a bat. Then its clan members show up, and the Predator kills itself with a sword after losing to Batman. Then the elder Predator of the clan takes the sword and gives it to Batman as a token of his victory against one of their hunters. Then the clan boards their ship and leaves the planet. The story is then continued as Batman and the Huntress capture a criminal that reveals there is a price on Batman's death. So his boss hired some of the best assassins in the world to take him out. And during this event, another Predator became aware of Batman's victory over the previous hunter and has traveled to Gotham to challenge him in combat. It lands in Gotham River and kills one of the assassins and later attacks the local police department. The Huntress comes in to help, but is captured by the Predator, but he spares her life as he mistook her for Batman. The Predator has taken the bat signal to a place outside the city to lure Batman. Then as Batman arrives at the crime scene, he realizes this is the work of another Predator. He heads off towards the bat signal and walks into a trap with the Predator. The two have a long battle, with Batman struggling to find a weapon to use against him. Batman gets overpowered by the Predator and is knocked out. Then another assassin arrives and plans to kill Batman to collect a bounty on his death, but he is killed off by the Predator. Then the Huntress arrives to save Batman and they escape. As Batman comes up with a plan to hunt the Predator, he builds a scrambler device that nullifies the creature's stealth camouflage. He meets up with the Huntress again and they approach Terraro, who hired the hit on Batman, but then the Predator locates them and kills Terraro. Batman then locates a body of a Predator and is confronted by another one who picks up the body and leaves. This means there is one Predator that is killing off their own species and is also hunting Batman. Commissioner Gordon then plans to use the bat signal to lure the creature to them, and as it appears, they fire upon it but realize it's the wrong Predator. It escapes while the real killer finds them and starts attacking the police officers and takes one as a hostage. It's later tracked down to its ship, and both Batman and the Huntress are lured inside and the ship takes off. A battle ensues and the hostage tries to help but is killed in the process, but actually succeeds in impaling the combi stick into the Predator's chest. Then, out of desperation, it gains control of the ship and tries to leave the planet, but Batman and the Huntress fall out of an open door and land in the water. The previous Predator chases after this bad blood in his own ship and destroys it, but then two explosions are seen, indicating that both of them have died. The last story continues, with the city still suffering from gang wars. More mysterious deaths show up around the city, but this time, two predators arrive and start killing off these criminals. It appears that an older hunter and a younger one are working together during their hunt. At the same time, Robin is now aiding Batman during his adventures, but is kept in the dark about the identity of the new killers in the city. Meanwhile, Mr. Freeze plans a robbery and manages to escape. As Batman pursues him, the Batmobile is put out of commission by Mr. Freeze and his henchmen. Mr. Freeze escapes to a frozen foods warehouse and they are attacked by two predators. His crew is killed off, but Mr. Freeze is invisible to the predator due to his body being cold. Batman chooses to keep Robin out of this mission so he doesn't become a target. Later on, Batman uses a helicopter to track down the predators and injures one of them, but as they separate, one of them damages the helicopter and Batman is forced to eject. While this is occurring, Robin tracks down Mr. Freeze and questions him about his encounter with the enemy that killed his crew earlier. Robin also managed to learn some information about these previous hunts through government files with the aid of Barbara Gordon. As Batman still advises Robin to stay out of this case, Robin is seen by two predators. Batman adjusts his new power suit to conceal his body heat by appearing as cold temperatures on the outside, thus making him invisible to the predator's heat vision. He was also able to shut down Wayne Tech temporarily to use it as a battleground, but manages to only lure one predator. During this battle, this predator plays back some words in Robin's voice. It's now clear to Batman that Robin is being hunted as well. Alfred contacts him to warn him, and he manages to escape an attack from the other predator. Robin makes it back to the Batcave and is followed and attacked. The predator is about to drop Robin into a hole, but then Batman appears. He gives his hunter a trophy the other predator had acquired on a previous hunt, indicating that he was defeated by Batman, and the predators had lost this battle. Now the younger predator was going through a rite of passage, and Robin was to be his target. The two predators then leave the planet, and Batman hopes their loss in battle will keep them from returning. The story takes place in New York City. Batman travels there to investigate some strange murders. Some cases indicate that the head of the victims were missing. Now, while in New York City, Batman is confronted by a giant robot as he goes to the waterfront. When he defeats the robot, he finds out that someone's head was placed inside, but they have no memory of what happened to them. It seems only the homeless people are being targeted. As he searches for more clues, he overheard a conversation about a homeless man with magical powers. Batman thinks nothing of it and continues on with his case. Spawn would later show up in search of some of his friends who have gone missing, but as he deals with some local thugs, he is spotted by Batman. The Dark Knight flies in, and the two of them battle each other. Batman's hand-to-hand combat seems to overpower Spawn in the beginning, but Spawn decides to use his magic powers and gets the upper hand. Batman decides to retreat and mends to his injuries. Meanwhile, Spawn is led to a warehouse by a junkie named Silvio. He is attacked by a large robot and uses its own weapon to destroy it, and amongst the rubble, he finds the head of his friend named Chuck. Batman would meet Spawn once again in the alley, and under the assumption that Spawn was responsible for the murders. The two of them have another battle, but by the end of it, both of them are tired and beat up. They come to their senses that neither one of them is at fault for the murders in New York City. Then, a cyborg sent by Margaret Love shows up to get rid of Batman and Spawn, to make sure there are no loose ends. Batman is severely injured, but Spawn saves his life and heals him with his magic powers. He also brings Batman into his mind to reveal who is behind the murders. The two of them join forces to stop Margaret Love before her plan is fully deployed. Margaret Love is on a mission to heal the planet of all the problems caused by man, but not in a positive way. Her plan is to get rid of humans and create cyborgs used for war. She claims man is the cause of suffering, pollution, and the destruction of the planet. Spawn and Batman sneak aboard her ship and start to take out the cyborgs defending her. The battle does not last long, and Margaret Love does end up dying. But, as a final act of revenge, she activates a nuke to land upon New York City. Spawn then teleports himself and Batman aboard the flying missile. Batman is able to deactivate the missile and it falls into the water without any damage to the city. After it's all over, Batman still despises Spawn because he has no respect for human life and has no discipline in combat. Spawn then tells Batman to stay off his territory, but as Batman walks away, Spawn tries to be the good guy and tells Batman they worked well together as a team. Maybe they even saved the whole world together. Spawn wants to bury the bad blood between them, but Batman just throws his batarang to Spawn's face. Batman and Jim Gordon discuss the possibilities of the Joker, Bane, and Ra's al Ghul being involved, but none of the murders fit their style, so this must be someone new in the city. Someone is trying to strike fear into the local gangs. Batman had planted a device inside a place called Antonio's to see if he can track down the killers. As a shootout occurs, Batman races in and expects to find a rival gang, a mercenary group, or even a team of renegade soldiers, but instead, he finds a group of Darklings. They see Batman as a witness and try to attack him, but he escapes. It's later revealed that Jackie Estacado, who is in possession of the darkness, was sent to Gotham City by the Franchetti family in trying to expand their operations. They were taking out local gangs and thugs that appeared as rivals to them. Jackie later goes to visit Jenny Romano, who has always been seen as a kind-hearted soul. The two of them are different, but similar in a way. Jenny uses her good nature to make a difference in people's lives, while Jackie uses his pain and the darkness to keep the streets safe, no matter how far he has to go. The leader of the Franchetti family, Frankie, also meets up with some of Gotham City's main villains. He gets a visit from Two-Face, who lets him live by a flip of a coin. Catwoman later meets up with Frankie and steals from his safe before escaping into the night. Even Killer Croc shows up wanting a job to take out Batman, but this job is given to Jackie Estacado. As Batman goes to Frankie Franchetti's suite in Gotham Towers, he sneaks inside without any security and comes into contact with the Darkness. As the Darklings surround Batman, he tries to fight them off, but starts to get overwhelmed. His best choice is to escape. Jackie would later meet up with Frankie, and although he did not complete his mission, he tells Frankie that he was not sure if he should kill the Batman, because this was a person who was trying to do some good in the world. So Jackie then calls Jenny to meet him at the police station and tries to take her advice. He plans to finally do something good. He goes to the police station to meet with Jim Gordon and confess to the crimes. But then Frankie shows up assuming Jackie was going to rat him out about all the crimes. Then a shootout occurs and the Darkness confronts the Batman on the rooftop. Batman knows the Darkness has superhuman strength and it could easily crush Batman's skull if it wanted to. Jackie says he does not plan to kill Batman. So Batman escapes his grasp by using a small gas bomb, and then uses the bat signal to remove the Darkness from Jackie. With the two of them across from each other, Frankie takes Jenny hostage and pushes her over the edge of the roof, but she is saved by Batman and the Darklings. At the end of the story, Frankie is arrested and sent to jail in New York City. Jackie would turn the state's evidence against Frankie, but this was not the end. After Frankie gets out of jail, he goes after Jackie, but he targets Jenny first and he videotapes her murder and sends it to Jackie. Jackie would then let Frankie track him down to a warehouse full of gasoline. Jackie believed the problems within the family should never spill innocent blood, but Frankie was different. He would do anything for revenge. In Jackie's eyes, Frankie was a scumbag. So he threw a lighter in the warehouse and everyone except Jackie had burned away. The death of Jenny was different in the comic books compared to how it ended in the first video game, where it was Polly who killed Jenny. But before her soul was gone, they were allowed one final moment together to say goodbye. The story opens up with a group of explorers. They are in the Andes Mountains, which is located in South America. They are considered to be the largest mountain lions in the world outside of the Asian region. South America is also a region linked to the plains of Nazca. These were a mysterious set of lines that formed various shapes and images, but they remained hidden for so long because their true image is best seen from the sky. The group traveling here is sent to investigate a volcano. It's called the Old Grandfather. According to the local people, they never mentioned the last time it erupted. One of the members, named Pierre, keeps looking back behind them. He seems to get a glimpse of something, but cannot tell what it is. And just like that, in a matter of seconds, the entire team is wiped out. Back in Gotham City, Batman oversees a deal between people of interest, but his mission gets interrupted when unforeseen activity is picked up. Its origin is unknown, so Batman proceeds to this area. He comes across alien entities which are known as predators. He's made contact with them in the past, but their behavior is different this time. They don't show any normal hunt behavior. Instead, they injure Batman and flee the scene. Superman is then seen in Metropolis and gets contacted by John Henry about a possible power heating problem with a generator. He encounters predators, but is quickly attacked. Superman recovers, but the predators have vanished. Back at the office, Clark Kent gets his new assignment. He is to investigate a volcano in Peru that suddenly has become active. The volcano in question is Mount Viejo Abuelo, the old grandfather. Clark and Lois arrive at the Andes Mountains in search of the missing team from earlier. Because Lois and two others joined him, he is unable to pursue this investigation as Superman. In the distance, he can hear a helicopter and many armed men. Something's happening. Lois and the other two guides depart, as Clark stays behind to investigate as Superman. But he arrives too late. He finds the body of one man, with a spear tip impaled into his chest. This weapon seems familiar to Superman. He finds out the other men descended down below, so he follows. When the other men are located, Batman also shows up. Batman explains his reason for being there. He analyzed dust traces left by the predators he encountered earlier. They were volcanic traces from this area. The men that were deployed here were part of the Terrestrial Defense Initiative. Their one job is to track down all predators visiting the planet and destroy them. As they descend down below, they are attacked by predators. Batman loses his grip and falls into the deep abyss, but he survives the fall due to the armor he's wearing. Meanwhile, Superman gets his hands full when xenomorphs show up. The aliens also surround Batman, but he is saved, not by Superman, but by predators. They capture him and take him deep underground. Batman is taken to their colony. They must have been here a very long time. He sees a vast structure, tunnels, and a large amount of members to this tribe. Batman is brought towards a mighty predator, larger than all the others. It's very clear what's going to happen. Batman insinuates the battle by slapping its face, only to get punched in return. This predator has incredible strength. But as he abides by the honor system, Batman plays by his own rules. By using a device from his belt, it sends a surge of electricity through the beast, and it falls before him. As we shift back to Superman, it seems his time underground is affecting his powers. Because Superman needs the sun to stay powerful. The lack of sunlight is making his powers fade away. Slowly over time, he becomes weaker and more vulnerable. But the scream of a woman gets his attention. It sounds like Lois. She was kidnapped from the surface earlier and taken away by the predators, but as always, Superman saves her. He follows the other predators to the colony entrance. Batman greets them and explains what's going on. Batman found a way to communicate with the predators, and they apologize for kidnapping Lois. They were unaware that she was Superman's female. Batman says he convinced the predators that he is an emissary to the colony and Superman is a friendly deity. These predators are living fossils, survivors. They are not as hostile as the others. They are living an ancestral culture that the predators they encountered before have long moved past. This tribe is still holding onto the culture and rituals from a forgotten time. Through the use of gestures, he forms basic communication with the predators. They were a colony ship set to spread their empire to a new world. But something went wrong with their guidance systems, and they were forced to land here, on Earth. But the timing was also wrong, because 14,000 years ago, the planet was going through an ice age. They hate the cold. It was inadequate for their needs, so they tried to leave. But more problems arose during this attempt. Their damaged ship could not break the Earth's gravitational field, so they hid within the subterranean caverns of a volcano. It was rich in nitrogen, and the temperature was just right. They also brought alien eggs with them. It's part of their culture to hunt the alien, and so they remained below, hidden away from the world. Over time, they evolved into their own hermetic ecosystem while keeping their ancient culture. But their survival is now at jeopardy. The surge of volcanic activity has disrupted the stability of their caverns. Their world is doomed, so they began looking for alternative living space. Superman comes up with a plan. If he brings the technology to repair the Predator's ship, he will send them back into space. But they must not harm another human being. Batman goes on to explain the plan as best he can. As time is running out, the Terrestrial Defense Initiative is on high alert. They have no choice left, and soon they will launch a nuclear strike at the volcano. By using the Fortress of Solitude, the Predators board inside, but it doesn't take long for them to start some chaos. Lois and Batman also enter the fortress, but try to buy time by avoiding the Predators. Despite aliens being a dangerous life form, Superman understands they have a right to live, but not on Earth. He freezes some alien eggs and preps them for transport. The Predator's ship is also sent into the Fortress of Solitude. Everything is going as planned, but once he's inside, he realizes the Predators have already caused problems, attacking anything they see. But unknown to everyone, a queen alien has also boarded the fortress. It grabs Batman and knocks out Lois. Batman is taken away and cocooned. Superman comes to his rescue, and by using a complex compound, it knocks the queen out. Batman created it, based on their molecular acid vital fluids. The remaining Predators are dealt with on the way back. By replacing the nitrogen in the air, they pump something through the ventilation system, and it knocks out the remaining Predators. Almost all of the repairs on the Predator ship is complete. Navigation, guidance, life support is all in working order, except for the anti-gravity thrusters to leave Earth. Superman will have to bring the ship into space himself. As he makes his way quickly into space, missiles are launched at Superman by the TDI, but he makes it to space just in time. The Predator's ship is now released from the fortress. With the help of the robots inside, Batman was able to understand the Predator language, just enough to set new coordinates. The Predators and the Queen Alien are now leaving Earth. Despite Superman and Batman saving the world from this threat, the TDI still decided to nuke the volcano. But this would not have been the best course of action. It actually would have made the situation much worse. According to one of the robots, upon scanning the Predator's ship, it discovered a fail-safe mechanism. If the colony was destroyed, it would have sent out a distress signal before this happened. This signal could have resulted in more Predators coming to Earth later on. So once again, the good deeds of Batman and Superman were the best course of action. This might not be a story that Lois can write about, but it's something they can tell the TDI later on. Perhaps next time they can have more faith in our heroes. The end.